If you are against animal abuse, you need to go vegan, and you should not waste another day not being vegan. Every time you consume animal products, you are paying people to harm animals. Even if you're vegetarian, in the dairy industry, they are abusing those animals. Those dairy cows have to be pregnant in order for them to start lactating. Dairy cows do not automatically produce milk. They have to be pregnant, just like any other mammal. These dairy cows are forcibly impregnated. In other words, they're sexually violated. If you were to forcibly impregnate a human against her will, what would you call that? If you were to steal her baby from her, what would you call that? If you were to hook her up to a milking machine to suck her baby's food out of her body, while her baby, if he's a boy, is being hacked to pieces inside of a slaughterhouse, what would you call that? Yeah, if the same thing's being done on those dairy farms, on those factory farms, inside of those slaughterhouses, were being done to humans, they would in fact be crimes of rape, kidnapping, theft, and mass murder. So how you can not think it's abusive to do those awful things to animals, it doesn't make sense. It absolutely is animal abuse that's taking place to produce these animal products. Those dairy cows have to be pregnant, just like any animal. They have to get pregnant in order to reproduce. And throughout the entire animal agriculture industry, they are forcibly impregnating female animals to get them to reproduce, to make the baby animals that people eat. These animals are actually sexually violated. They have select males that they collect the semen from for that artificial insemination process. In order to collect that semen, what they do to those male animals is they masturbate them and they force them to ejaculate. And then they take that semen and they sexually violate the female animals to impregnate them for the sinister purpose of stealing their babies and killing their babies so people can eat their flesh. And in the dairy industry, they're forcibly impregnating the dairy cows because they have to be pregnant in order for them to start lactating. When they give birth, their babies are taken from them. Standard practice throughout the globe. Doesn't matter what country you're in. If you're consuming animal products, that's what they are doing. They are forcibly impregnating dairy cows, stealing their babies when they give birth, keeping them in these tiny little pens where they could barely move. And they're out there in all kinds of weather extremes. Like this little calf here was just out there all alone without mom through a rainstorm. These are baby animals. They need to be with their mothers. But because people want to consume their baby food, they are stolen from their mothers, kept in tiny pens. And if they're boys, what happens to them is they are typically sent to slaughter for veal. Veal is a byproduct of the dairy industry. And even if they're sold off to the beef industry, beef cattle are slaughtered between 12 and 22 months of age. They can live over 20 years, but they're slaughtered as babies as well. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. You think it's a nice thing to steal babies from their mothers? No decent person would ever say that that's an acceptable thing to do to an animal. That's why people have to go vegan. Unless you are pro-animal abuse, like this person here, who's so happy that baby animals are being stolen from their mothers and neglected and abused and killed so they can eat baby food intended for a baby cow. That is what cow's milk is. Baby food for baby cows. Mammals produce milk for one reason and one reason only: to feed their babies. You're not a baby, and your mother is not a cow. Yeah, hunting, it's no different than killing a human. I see no difference because there is no difference. I mean, legally, yeah, if you kill a human, it's murder. But you kill someone who's not human, and that's hunting. That's just a sport. No, it's the same cruel and violent act. It's instead of carrying it out against a human, you're carrying out that cruel and violent act against a non-human animal. But it's really no different. The act is the same. We don't have to consume animal products to be healthy. So it's immoral to kill animals just because you can and just because you enjoy feasting on their flesh. And before you say anything about there being any kind of population problem, the population problem is with humans. Humans are, in fact, the only species that's literally destroying the planet. And it's mainly due to animal agriculture. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, and climate change. So it's humans that are causing most of the destruction. And here in the United States, there are 10 humans for every deer, not 10 deer for every human. If everybody hunted their food, wild animals would go extinct like instantly. I'm off my rocker? No, I'm literally stating facts. Yeah, how is it not cruel to kill someone? I mean, that's a pretty fucked up thing to do. Like, a dog's walking down the street, and somebody shoots them. Yeah, I think most people would realize, that's an act of cruelty. Oh, but if it's a deer and it's hunting season, go for it. No, that's animal abuse at the very least. And I really think it should be a crime. It should absolutely be a crime. And in the state of Oregon, if there's anybody watching from the state of Oregon, go to yesonip13.org. Sign the petition. Make sure IP13 gets on the ballot in November to ban animal agriculture, to ban hunting, to ban fishing, to ban the artificial insemination process of farmed animals because it is in fact sexual abuse. Yeah, I did not go vegan because I didn't love eating bacon. I didn't go vegan because I didn't love eating porterhouse steaks. I went vegan because I saw how those items were produced and I realized, it was animal abuse. Extreme animal abuse. And I'm against animal abuse. So in order to align my behavior with my own belief that it's wrong to abuse animals, I realized I had to go vegan. And it's actually the easiest thing you can do. It's never been easier to go vegan. The grocery stores are filled with vegan options. Even KFC just a few weeks ago put Beyond Chicken on their menu. Yeah, it's pretty loony what's being done to these animals. It's pretty loony that humans think it's okay to masturbate male animals and force them to ejaculate. Yeah, that is really loony. They think there's nothing wrong with forcing semen into an unconsenting female as long as it's not a human. No, it's still the same crime. Yeah, in my eyes, it's still the same crime because it is still the same crime. Whether you're doing it to a human or a non-human. It's just, most humans, unfortunately, are speciesists. So, yeah, most humans see that, oh, no, there's nothing wrong because they're not human. No, it's pretty fucked up what they're doing to animals. Masturbating male animals. Would you do that yourself? Would you go work on a farm collecting semen from the male animals? Would you work on a farm forcing that semen into the female animals' vaginas for the sinister purpose of, stealing their babies so their babies can be forced to live in a shit-filled shed for months before being forced into a slaughterhouse and hacked to pieces just so people can spend a few minutes eating a meal that's like literally going to like clog up their arteries and increase their risk of heart disease and cancer. I mean, it really makes no sense what people are doing to animals. It's really vicious, really cruel, and really insane. Because, you know, you're doing these off, you're paying these people, and maybe it's not your intention. You know, I wouldn't think it would be your intention that, you know, you want to see animals abused in any way. But that's in fact what's happening to those animals. So whether that's your intention or not, that's what's happening to animals. So every time you're purchasing an animal product, that is the industry you're funding. Those are the acts you are funding, because those are the acts that have to take place in order for those animal products to be produced. They are literally sexually abusing animals. It's a fact. Just look it up. I would show you the footage right now, but my live stream would be suspended. So you should just look it up yourself if you think I'm talking crazy, because I'm not. Artificial insemination of cows, artificial insemination of pigs, artificial insemination of chickens, artificial insemination of fish, artificial insemination of bees, artificial insemination of sheep. Now, it's not a requirement to kill animals for vegan products. I guess you never heard of non-lethal deterrence. And I guess you don't realize that animals have like ears and legs and a will to live. And yeah, when they hear the harvesting equipment, they typically get out of the way. Nobody's forcing those little mice to die. Like, you know, they're forcing the cows and the pigs and the chickens to die. And even if they escape the slaughterhouse, yeah, like a few months back, 40 cows escaped a slaughterhouse in California when a worker left a gate open, but they were rounded up and taken right back to the slaughterhouse. And whatever animals are dying in crop production, just multiply that by like, you know, about 8 times more, 9, maybe even 10 times more animals die. Or if you eat beef, you know, if you're strictly just eating beef, you know, multiply that by like 16 times more animals being killed in crop production to feed the animals that you eat. So yeah, you're having a lot more animals killed in crop production. Plus you're intentionally having the animals that you eat killed. And then you're funding an industry that is having literally millions of wild animals intentionally killed each and every year, because those wild animals compete with livestock for grazing land and are a threat to livestock. So yeah, whatever animals are dying, like so many more animals are dying because you're not vegan. And again, there's not as many animals as you think dying in crop production. And yeah, any animals that get caught up in a harvesting equipment, those are accidental deaths. There's a reason why, you know, if you accidentally kill someone, you're not going to be charged with murder. I mean, you might be charged with manslaughter if, say, you were drunk or something. You were, you know, if you were speeding down the road and a kid ran out in front of your car, you could possibly be charged with manslaughter. But I mean, if you're driving the speed limit, you're obeying the traffic signals, and a child runs out in front of your car and you accidentally hit them, you're not going to be charged with murder, and you probably most likely are not even going to be charged with manslaughter. Because it was accidental. But if you intentionally kill somebody, you're going to be charged with murder. See, there's a huge difference. So you're intentionally having animals killed so you can eat their flesh. And I don't understand. I really don't understand how anybody can defend this. Like, this is happening in the dairy industry. Those dairy cows have to be pregnant in order for them to start lactating. And once they give birth, their babies are taken from them so that their baby food can be stolen and sold to humans. I just don't understand it. Like, how anybody can still be consuming dairy products, especially when the store shelves are filled with plant-based alternatives. And if you're against animal cruelty, you absolutely should go vegan, and you should do it right now. Because every time you purchase an animal product, you are funding animal abuse, and that's just a fact. Like I explained, even in the dairy industry, those animals are being abused, babies being stolen from their mothers, the males are killed. How do you think it's okay to kill a baby, to steal their food? That's insanity. And in the egg industry, those chicks are ground up. The males are all ground up alive because they're useless to the egg industry. At the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, even the organic free-range egg-laying hens, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until after they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive because they don't lay eggs and they're not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. So they're ground up alive as soon as they hatch. If you wouldn't support an industry that grinds up puppies alive, if you wouldn't support an industry that grinds up kittens alive, why are you supporting the egg industry? And one egg has twice as much cholesterol as a Big Mac. So it's not even a health food.